and demure.
Yeah, there you go.
But it's always a pleasure having Henry on the show. It's time for the news. It's 8:31, brought to you by Roger Hemming, LLC. Find Roger on the west side for all your construction, overhead door, and fencing. And once again, here's Bill Shope.
Thanks, Steve. Good morning, everyone. Community development projects across 45 Ohio counties will be receiving almost $11 million in funding, according to Ohio Governor Mike DeWine. He said the monies will be spread across 49 different communities across those counties. Now, Scioto County received $288,000 of that to provide funding for the Shawnee State Golden Bears. The county also will receive funding to conduct flood and drainage improvements to the villages of Otway and New Boston. Commissioner Brian Davis said it'll improve safety measures and improve the quality of life for those residents.
It is a single-year project, both of them are. And that one was for $772,210, and that's very exciting because both of these have to do with storm water control. Of course, the one in New Boston is a major one as far as a pumping station, and the one in Otway is one that many people have experienced firsthand themselves, and that's going out 73 and running into water that's backed up on 73 just past Otway in the northbound lane, and often causes a safety hazard.
Meanwhile, Shane Tiemann, Scioto County prosecutor, announced the Scioto County grand jury met recently and returned 15 public indictments. Indicted included Ryan Cottle, 25, of Portsmouth, who was indicted on a charge of possession of cocaine, while Carson Kraft, age 45, of Sciotoville, was indicted on a domestic violence charge. Charles Scoggins, age 48, of McDermott, was indicted on charges of grand theft of a motor vehicle and failure to comply with an officer. And Marcos Fontes, age 45, of Portsmouth, was indicted on a charge of aggravated possession of drugs. Now, it has been confirmed that Ohio's Intel project will indeed receive CHIPS Act funding, but it'll be less than previously announced. Kiera Lake explains why.
Ohio is receiving CHIPS Act funding is a much-needed step forward in the important objective of making the most advanced computer chips in America. That's a portion of the statement we got from the governor. Intel will be getting up to $7.86 billion. Now, the reduction is largely due to Intel getting $3 billion to make computer chips for the military, and the money newly announced was awarded by the U.S. Department of Commerce. This is to help expand Intel's chip making in the U.S., which powers phones, cars, and home appliances.
And our region continues to mourn the passing of Shawnee State University professor Dr. Mark Mirabello. Mirabello had been a longtime history professor at Shawnee State University and also taught at the University of Virginia, Glasgow University in Scotland, and Novgorod University in Russia. His friend and colleague, City Councilman Sean Dunn, told us Mirabello's effect will be felt for a long time to come.
His presence is still felt here with all the outpouring of memories and great stories about times students had in his class and interactions they had with him. As Mark has stated how he approached classes, he stated that the historian must make the dead come alive and not put the living to sleep. And the effects that he had on students in our area, I think, show that that was a rule that produced a lot of great results and enthusiasm for history.
For Mix 99.3 News, I'm Bill Shope.
Well, have you ever been to a Thanksgiving dinner you really didn't want to be at?
Yes.
Well, I think maybe all of us. Holly was telling me yesterday, I'm trying to remember where it was, but she said she got invited to this Thanksgiving Day dinner and had to eat it while sitting on top of a couch. Because the place was so full of people, and she said she suspected the food might be tainted, but she's still kind of, imbibed.
She ate it anyway.
Yes, but she was telling me how awful it was.
And I've also been to some Thanksgiving where they didn't want me there, so it levels out.
Yeah, balances out. But, of course, we want to give a little bit of love to you folks who have to invite people you really don't want to invite to your Thanksgiving Day tomorrow, like your drunk uncle. But
hello, I am your drunk uncle. Well, I'm not drunk right now, but by the time we sit down for Thanksgiving dinner, I will be. And I'd like to say preemptively, I'm sorry for downing 7 spiked eggnogs, picking up the carving knife, thrusting it into the turkey and saying that's what we ought to do to ISIS. That's going to make my little nephew Billy cry, but not as much as when he finds out he's adopted after I accidentally spill the beans. I'd also like to apologize for accidentally spilling the gravy and for trying to lick it off Grandma's lap. Apologetically yours, your drunk uncle.
We're throwing out a few apologies beforehand.
I want what he's having.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Bill. This update brought to you by Roger Hemming, LLC on the West Side 104 for all your construction overhead door and fencing needs.
Southern Ohio Overhead Doors and Fencing has all kinds of garage doors in multiple sizes and colors for commercial and residential use. It offers both sales and service. Fencing-wise, there's wood, vinyl, metal, and chain link. Southern Ohio Overhead Doors and Fencing can custom make gates and is the only company around that can install and service electrical gate openers. Southern Ohio Overhead Doors and Fencing, 22115 State Route 73 West Portsmouth at Roger Hemming Contractors LLC. Phone 740-529-0133. Guaranteed lowest prices, financing available, credit cards accepted. See store for details.
Yeah, it's 8:37. Good morning downtown. We've got 38 degrees and ONN.
This is ONN. I'm Jay Fox on the Ohio News Network. In Southwest Ohio, 28-year-old Elijah Thomas has been sentenced in Warren County to life in prison for the premeditated 2023 murder of 23-year-old Caitlin Puckett. A dispute over potato chips has landed an Akron man a lengthy prison sentence. ONN's Angela Ann reports.
43-year-old Melvin Wright Jr. was sentenced to 9 to 12 years in prison after he was found guilty of several charges, including attempted murder. Wright's initial arrest stemmed from an incident that took place nearly a year ago when, according to court documents, Wright approached the victim at a nightclub and asked if he could have some of his potato chips. When the victim refused, Wright followed the man to his car and shot him. The victim survived. Wright was designated a violent offender and must register with authorities for 10 years after he's released from prison.
Near Toledo, the city of Oregon now owns the site formerly occupied by a Kmart store, and there are some big plans for the property. Melissa Andrews of ONN affiliate WTOL-TV has more.
It'll be part of its long talked about town center project. This means the River Rock Property Group can now secure financing for the project and start construction in the spring. The private developer says they're in active discussions with potential businesses, including retail and restaurants. Both the city and River Rock expect phase 1 of the project to begin in the spring, with vendors opening at the end of 2025.
For the Ohio News Network, I'm Jay Fox.
And it is time now once again for sports, brought to you by Roger Hemming, LLC on the West Side 104 for all your overhead door construction and fencing. And in for your Wednesday morning sports, heading into a busy weekend, here's Chuck.
That is fact, Steve. The new college football playoff rankings were released yesterday, and the Ohio State Buckeyes remain second to the only team that has defeated them, the Oregon Ducks. Texas is third, and Penn State is fourth, so no change in the top four. As far as the seedings go, keep in mind that you do have to be a conference champion in order to get a first-round bye and have one of those top four slots in this new 12-team playoff format. So if Ohio State defeats Michigan and then gets the rematch with Oregon and defeats the Ducks in the Big Ten championship game, OSU would have that first-round bye. But as things stand right now, Oregon sits atop the conference standings, so Ohio State wouldn't get a first-round bye. The Buckeyes would go in as a number 5 seed and would host 12th-seeded Arizona State in the first round. That's as things stand right now. Of course, that will change multiple times, I'm sure, between now and the start of the playoffs. Be sure and tune in to the Coach Ryan Day Show this afternoon, beginning at 1 o'clock on Fox Sportsmouth AM 1260 and 95.7 FM. Of course, it's Michigan week. Everybody in Buckeye Nation knows that. Typically, the Ryan Day Show is a Thursday program, but with tomorrow being the holiday, we'll hear his thoughts this afternoon on this Saturday's game, which will kick off at noon at the Horseshoe. Last night in college football, there was some midweek action out of the Mid-American Conference. The Akron Zips defeated Toledo 21-14 in overtime, and Buffalo routed Kent State 43-7. Last night in men's college basketball, 8th-ranked Kentucky defeated Western Kentucky 87-68. That win improved Big Blue to 6-0. Coach Mark Pope's Wildcats will host Georgia State this Friday. Elsewhere in top 25 men's college hoops last night, there were a few upsets. Unranked San Diego State put a beat down on number 21 Creighton 71-53. Unranked Colorado handed second-ranked UConn the Huskies' second loss in as many days. 73-72 was the final. The unranked Oregon Ducks took down 20th-ranked Texas A&M, 80-70. Number 9 Alabama defeated 6th-ranked Houston, 85-80 in overtime. Number 5 Iowa State was a winner over Dayton, 89-84. Top-ranked Kansas defeated 11th-ranked Duke, 75-72, and number 4 Auburn was a winner over 12th-ranked North Carolina, 85-72. This evening in the NBA, the 17-1 Cleveland Cavaliers will host the Hawks at 7, and in the NHL tonight, the Columbus Blue Jackets will entertain the Canadians at 7:30. Your Portsmouth Insurance sports time is 8:41. Portsmouth Insurance is a TAH benefits partner. Give Gary Duzan a call for all of your employee benefit needs. And that is a look at sports.
All right. Thank you, Chuck. And brought to you this morning by Roger Hemming, LLC. Find Roger on the west side for all of your construction needs and more. And one more time, we'll take a look at your forecast and traffic straight ahead.
Southern Ohio Overhead Doors and Fencing has all kinds of garage doors in multiple sizes and colors for commercial and residential use and offers both sales and service. Fencing-wise, there's wood, vinyl, metal, and chain link. Southern Ohio Overhead Doors and Fencing can custom make gates and is the only company around that can install and service electrical gate openers. Southern Ohio Overhead Doors and Fencing, 22115 State Route 73 West Portsmouth at Roger Hemming Contractors LLC. Phone 740-529-0133. Guaranteed lowest prices, financing available, credit cards accepted. See store for details.
And your traffic, a service of your good friends at the Scioto River, 1024 Gallia Street. And the river, of course, is there for everything that you need, including getting ready for the big day tomorrow. Well, we've got no accidents this morning, actually light traffic. And with that, there's going to be a lot of scrutiny for you to drive careful and to slow down, because all law enforcement agencies are going to be out doing their thing beginning today, but especially tomorrow through the weekend. So be careful and be cognizant of that. So if you see something we need to know about, give us a call, 354-1993. Traffic and service of your friends at the Scioto River, open 7 days a week.
Weather a service of Mary's Spirit Shop with new gift items just in time for the holidays, including mugs, shirts, and fundraising items for schools and clubs. Don't forget to see Mary's at 2109 Gallia Street for all of your printing needs. And with an in-house graphic designer, Mary can create anything.
Your WSAZ First Alert forecast. We're seeing on and off showers this afternoon with dry conditions before the noon hour. Temperatures only into the upper 40s and lower 50s. Overnight tonight, rainy conditions with temps dropping into the upper 30s and lower 40s. I'm WSAZ News Channel 3 meteorologist Nicholas Snyder on the Ohio Valley's hit music channel, Mix 99.3.